Nārāyaṇastrang daityarir Aindramastrang purandaraha Brahmāpi Brahmadaṇḍastrang Agneyastrang dhananjayaha. The arrow named Nārayan was given by Viṣṇu, the sworn foe of the demons, Aindram by Indra, Brahmadaṇḍa by Brahmā, Āgneya by Agni. Yāmyam yamopi Mohāstram rakshorājastatā dadau Varuno Vārunam pradad Vāyavīyastrang prabhanjanaha. Yama gave Yāmyam, Nirrti gave Mohāstram, Varuna gave Vārunam, Vāyu gave Vāyavīyam. Kauberam cha Kuveropi Raudram Īśana eva-cha Sauramastrang dadau Surya Saumyam somascha Pārvatam Viśvedevas dadustasmai Vasavo vasavabhidam. Kuvera gave Kauberam, Īśana gave Raudram, Sun gave the arrow called Sauram, Moon gave Saumyam, the Viśvedevas gave Pārvatam, the Vasus gave the Vāsavam. Atatushta pranamyeshang Ramo Daśarathatmajaha Pranjali pranato bhutva bhakti yukto vyajignapat. Then Brahmā, the son of Daśaratha, very happily prostrating before Lord Śiva, with folded palms and in all humility, prayed to the Lord with devotion. Śrī Rāma uvacha Bhagavan manushenaiva no langhyo lavanam buddhihi tatra lankabhidang durgang Durjayang Devadanavai. Śrī Rāma said, O Lord, the saline sea is unfordable by any human beings. The fort city known as Lanka is impregnable by gods or demons. Aneka kotayastatra rakshasa balavattara Sarve svadhyaya nirrta Shiva bhakta jitendriya. The Rakshasas live there in millions and millions, supremely strong, every one of them devoted to the study of his branch of scripture, all of them devotees of Śiva, who have subdued their senses. Aneka maya samyukta Buddhimanto gnihotrinaha katame kakina jeya maya bratra cha sangyuge. They are possessed of manifold magical powers, very intelligent, performing the Agnihotra fire sacrifice daily. How can they be conquered by a single person like me and my brother in battle? Shri Mahadeva uvacha Ravanasya vadhe Rama Rakshasamapi marane Vicharo natvaya karyas tasya kalo yamagata. The Lord said, Rama, there need be no question by you about killing Ravana or the destruction of the Rakshasas. The time of his end has arrived. Adharme tu pravrittaste deva brahmana pidane tasmad ayukshayang yatang teshang shrirapi suvrata. O Rama of noble observances, they have embarked on unrighteousness and are harming the Brahmanas and the gods. Hence the shortening of their lifespan and of their welfare too is imminent.
Namaste. Well, Shiva is preparing Rama for war. So he gave him the Pashupata weapon in the last episode. And in this episode, he encourages all the demigods to donate their weapons to Rama. So they all step forward with their particular astras, their subtle divine weapons, and they give them to Rama, who will then deploy them in the war. But Rama still has a doubt. How am I going to cross the ocean between India and Lanka? So Shiva is like, no problem. We'll give you an army of millions of monkeys. They can carry a huge amount of stones and throw them into the ocean and build a bridge. And that's exactly what they do. And this bridge is still visible, existing today. Although it doesn't make a solid connection all the way between India and Sri Lanka. Parts of it are underwater. But after all, it's been several million years. It's a wonder that the thing still exists. But I see it every time I fly from Sri Lanka to Chennai and back out of the airplane window. In fact, I always take a seat on the side of the plane so I can see it, because it's really one of the wonders of the world. And the fact that it's still existing and actually could easily be repaired and usable is just a miracle today. So this is the bridge that was built by the monkeys later on in Rama Leela, actually when the war begins. But now what's happening is Shiva is making sure that Rama has all the weapons and all the help that he needs, so he and his brother Lakshman can go and conquer Lanka. So this is the story. This is where we are. But the rest of Shiva Gita is not about the war, and it's not about Ram Leela really at all. It is about Shiva revealing his real nature, his real identity, and how to realize him. So this is very important. Directions for sadhana, instructions for contemplation of Shiva. And he begins right at the end of this chapter, because he says, I am the primordial being. I am the non-dual essence of everything. That's equivalent to saying that he is Brahman. Shiva is Brahman. Uma is Maya. They are actually one. They are both transcendent, unlimited, all-powerful, etc., etc. But one tends towards unmanifestation. Shiva tends towards the unmanifested being, whereas Uma, of course, is the manifestation, the qualities. So they are famous as Brahman without qualities, Nirguna Brahman, and Brahman with qualities, Saguna Brahman. So Rama paints an interesting picture of the Rakshasas on Lanka, that they are actually very intelligent, very powerful. They actually follow the Dharma, at least to a certain extent. And this is how come they have boons from Shiva that the gods cannot conquer them. Because they are responsible actually for feeding the gods. But because they're primarily egoistic, they prefer to be celebrated as powerful. They have huge egos and all of the issues that go along with that. So they use the good fortune and the power derived from Vedic sacrifice for egotistical, selfish ends. And this is why Rama is being empowered to conquer them. Shiva is done with them. He's tired of their hypocrisy. They use religion to justify cruelty to the Brahmanas, the sages, and the gods. So Shiva is like shortening their lifespan. He's not going to put up with this anymore. They are misusing the boons that Shiva gave them. I mean, if Ravana, even though he got a boon that the demigods even can't conquer him, but he's going and stealing somebody else's wife. I mean, that's so trivial. You know, this is the mark of an egotist, that he thinks that trivial things are very important and important things are trivial. They have a skewed value system. So even though Ravana has this wonderful boon from Lord Shiva, he misuses it in harassing other men's wives. Now, is this stupid or what? But this is what happens when somebody has a big ego. They misuse their mystic powers for selfish ends, and this is the cause of their ultimate defeat and downfall. We see a perfect example of this in the United States. The United States originally was founded on religious principles, principles of religious freedom. And most of the original colonists of the US were fleeing from religious oppression in Europe. But they did not learn their lesson and are now forming a religious and racist government which aims to deport anybody who is not, to their liking. And this is not what created the strength of the US, and this is what will lead to its downfall. Because without these migrant workers, who is going to do all the manual labor jobs? Not the Americans. They won't do it. They won't pick avocados in the sun all day, or husk rice, or cotton. They're not going to do it for any amount of money. That will make the crops in America unaffordable and lead to a poverty-stricken population, which will then eventually get tired of this government and overthrow it. So this is the beginning of the decline of America. I mean, we've already seen the 2008 financial crisis based on too much debt. And these things are only going to continue no matter how many times Congress raises the debt ceiling or whatever. But the real thing that's causing the downfall is the mistreatment of the Brahmanas, the sages, the gods, and the indigenous peoples. So because of this cruelty, because of this unfair treatment, when I was in the US, I couldn't find a friend anywhere. As a wise man, as a meditator, as a tantrika, and a scholar of Vedic culture, nobody valued me. Nobody appreciated me. So I was forced to migrate to the East, where at least there is a place for me in the culture. People understand a sannyasi. They understand the need for renunciants, for scholars, for people who do a lot of meditation and puja. This is a normal thing. Not normal in the sense of prevalent or average, but normal in the sense that there is a scheme of society where such a person fits in. And so I am much happier and well off here in the East and intend to stay here for the rest of my life I'm never going back to the West because they don't know how to treat saintly people. Look at how they treated Osho Rajneesh. And even my Adi Guru, Srila Prabhupada, suffered a lot from the harassment of the Western demons. So in the same way, the harassment of the perfect king, Lord Rama, an incarnation of Viṣṇu, is leading to the downfall of Ravana and the destruction of his whole kingdom. But as sage Agastya mentioned to Rama back in the 4th chapter, a demoniac person never takes good advice. So if you can take this advice, means you're not a demoniac. And Shiva has an interest in saving you. Pray to him, and he will help you attain the highest. Om Tat Sat. Om Shakti Om. Om Namah Shivaya.